Some people are equipped to see the world in high definition. While others see a blurry consensus, you see the sharp edges of reality, the hidden patterns, the unspoken truths. You are a deep thinker. And for this, you have likely felt a profound and painful sense of isolation. Let me be clear, this is not your fault. The world doesn't reject deep thinkers because they are wrong. It rejects them because it is not ready for the reflection they provide. This is a fundamental feature of human psychology, one that the great philosophers understood perfectly. Today, we are not here to diagnose a problem with you. We are here to decode the flawed system you operate in, so you can navigate it with the wisdom and power you already possess. Why does your intelligence create such discomfort in others? Imagine you're in a casual work meeting. The conversation is about a new project, and everyone is agreeing on a safe, conventional path forward. But you see a fundamental flaw in the logic, a long-term risk that everyone is ignoring. You're not trying to be difficult, you're trying to help. So, you raise your point, calmly and logically, and the temperature in the room drops. You're met with polite but blank stares. Someone quickly changes the subject back to an easier topic. After the meeting, you feel a strange distance from your colleagues. You were just trying to contribute, but you were treated like a disruption. This is the mirror effect. When you speak from a place of depth, you hold up a mirror. This mirror doesn't just show a new idea, it reflects the unexamined beliefs and comfortable illusions of the person you're speaking to. They weren't just discussing a project, they were participating in a social ritual of easy agreement. You didn't just introduce data, you introduced discomfort. The human ego is a defense mechanism. Its primary job is to protect our sense of stability and competence. When your insight inadvertently reveals a blind spot in someone else, their ego doesn't thank you for the illumination. It panics, and rather than engage with the idea and risk the discomfort of re-evaluating their worldview, it's far easier to find fault with the person holding the mirror. You are labeled as arrogant, negative, or too intense. It is not a logical response. It is a subconscious act of self-preservation. This defensive reflex isn't just about ego. It's running on ancient software. Your brain, and everyone else's, is wired for one primary purpose: survival within a tribe. Picture a prehistoric campfire. For our ancestors, the greatest threat wasn't being incorrect about the migratory patterns of a herd. It was being outcast from the group. Social harmony and shared belief were the currency of survival. An individual who questioned the tribe's hunting methods or spiritual traditions wasn't seen as an innovator. They were a threat to the cohesion that kept everyone safe from predators and starvation. To be a dissenter was to risk exile, a death sentence. Your brain still carries this primal programming. It is desperately afraid of being cast out. Now, picture that modern work meeting as a digital age campfire. When you introduce a complex or disruptive idea, you are, on a biological level, challenging the tribe. Their brain's ancient alarm system doesn't register interesting perspective. It registers threat to social harmony. The group's subconscious priority is to restore that harmony, and the fastest way to do that is to subtly sideline the dissenter. This explains why deep conversations can thrive one-on-one, but often die in a group. In a private setting, the goal is often understanding. But in a group, the goal often shifts to social positioning and maintaining consensus. The isolation you feel isn't a judgment on your character. It's a glitch in an ancient social code that you have simply evolved beyond. The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer saw this dynamic with brutal clarity. He believed most of humanity is driven by what he called the will to live, a blind, instinctual, and relentless push for comfort, pleasure, and distraction. This is the engine that powers the endless scroll on social media, the binge-watching of shows to numb our thoughts, and the relentless chase for the next promotion or purchase. But the deep thinker, Schopenhauer argued, operates on a different frequency. You are guided by the will to truth, an insatiable often painful drive to understand reality as it is, stripped of all its comforting illusions. While the will to live asks, how can I feel good? The will to truth asks, what is actually real? This creates a fundamental mismatch between you and the world around you. Society seeks comfort. You seek clarity. You're the one who stays up late researching a topic, not because it's useful, but because you simply have to know. Society prefers simple answers. You are fascinated by complex questions. You're the person who is more interested in the why behind a policy than the policy itself. Society values polite illusions. You value authentic, sometimes difficult, truth. You'd rather have one real conversation than 100 pleasant but fake ones. Schopenhauer noted that this difference tends to make a deep thinker unsocial. His logic was simple. When you're tuned into a deeper reality, the static of surface-level society can become unbearable. The clarity of your vision is not a burden or a curse. It is a higher resolution reality that others, operating on the will to live, are simply not equipped to see. So, if you are a high-resolution thinker in a world that prefers standard definition, how do you operate without becoming bitter or isolated? You don't retreat. You become strategic. You learn to navigate. Here are 3 principles for the wise navigator. 1. Know your audience. A deep, complex truth is a gift, but you wouldn't give an intricate novel to someone who only wants to read the headlines. It doesn't mean the novel is bad. It means you are a master who must choose your audience with care. This isn't about dumbing yourself down. It's about translating with purpose. Learn to package your insights into stories and metaphors that can be understood by those who don't share your depth, but reserve the full, uncut version for those who have earned the right to hear it, the ones who ask genuine questions and share your hunger for truth. 2nd, build your lighthouse. Stop trying to sail to every distant boat to prove your light is bright. A lighthouse doesn't chase ships. It stands on its own solid foundation, shines its light authentically into the world, and trusts that the right ships, the ones searching for that specific light, will navigate towards it. What does this look like in practice? It means you start the blog, you record the podcast, you write the code, you create your art, you focus on your output, on building something of value from your unique perspective. You become a source, and you let your tribe find you. 3. Cultivate your inner world. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius spent his life surrounded by political games and the chaos of war, yet he maintained his sanity by retreating inward. He wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Solitude is not a punishment for you. It is a privilege. It is the sanctuary where you don't have to downgrade your operating system to be compatible with others. Society offers company, but often at the price of your authenticity. Solitude offers you freedom. It is where you converse with the greatest minds in history through books, explore the universe of your own thoughts, and recharge the energy the world drains from you. If you have ever felt like an outsider for seeing the world differently, understand this. That feeling is not a sign of a defect. It is the signature of a more advanced operating system. It is the mark of a mind that sees beyond the default settings. It is the same signature that marked the lives of Galileo, of Socrates, of every innovator who was ridiculed in their time and celebrated centuries later. Their isolation was not proof of their failure, but evidence of their vision. They were the lighthouses. And sometimes it takes the rest of the fleet a while to realize they're sailing in the dark. The world may not have been built for the way you see it, but that is only because you are one of the architects of what comes next.